Welcome to Talking Junk. Welcome to Talking Junk. Welcome to Talking Junk. Welcome to Talking Junk.
Welcome to Talking Junk. I'm here today with Tylen. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man? You know, just up here, repping the set. Got your Talking Junk t-shirt right here. If you don't have one, get one.
All right, we here tonight with Mr. Entertainment himself.
That's
Gene,
right.
how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How's everything in New York right now?
Look, this kid looks like me. He looks like me. It's little JJ. Everything's good in New York. You know, a little cold, a little snowy, but it's February, so we can't complain.
Oh.
You know.
Oh,
Yeah, we can't complain too much.
There we go.
Well, I can't complain. I'm over here in Florida, so.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk to you right now, so.
Well, it's pretty cold over here right now.
Is it really?
It's actually, I'm out in California on the Central Coast, and it's cold right now here too.
I think we're 31 degrees today.
Wow.
I think
Okay.
the lowest over here was about 41.
Wow.
We were at 65,
huh?
but like we had a good 10, 15, 20 degree wind chill. I mean, it was, I came out from the East Coast, so like I'm used to cold, but having moved out to California, I was in the high desert for about 2 years. So I got used to being in 110, 115 degree heat. So now when I'm in the cold is like 50, right. 45 degrees. I feel terrible because
Are you by Barstow?
Oh my God, that's where I was at. I lived there for 2 years. You know about Barstow?
Yeah, so we did a show in Barstow in the Mojave Desert in the middle of sandstorm season, and everybody knew but us. So nobody bought tickets.
Wow.
So there was 2,000 seats and 19 people. Because everybody knew it was sandstorm season.
Oh man, that's crazy. You know what? That sounds like a Barstow Affair. Barstow is a place where you go to think that things will be all right, and then the things mess up in the weirdest way. That's crazy that you know about that. I lived there for several years, and my grandmother lives out there, and she's been there since the 50s, I believe.
I knew I was in trouble when I walked from the dressing trailer to the stage, and I stepped on a rattlesnake.
Yep.
I knew there was a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Barstow is its own place, man. But that's awesome. That's pretty crazy that you know about that place.
Yeah.
So all California places aside, why don't you tell the Junkers a little bit about yourself, those that might not know who you are?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Well, my name is Gene Dinapoli, and I come from the Bronx, New York. I still live here. And BX in the house. Even though the Yankees didn't make it this year, we're okay. And I've been an entertainer for just over 41 years now. And at one point, I was the youngest Elvis impersonator in, I think, the country, definitely the East Coast. And then I did that for over 30 years. And then I started doing a Blues Brothers show and a Bobby Darin show and a Sinatra show. And then now I do everything from Sinatra to doo-wop to disco. And I also got into the acting business around 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have you done in acting?
Well,
you got 9 credits on IMDb.
I do?
9 credits.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. That's better than me. I don't got not one. So.
You know, it's a funny story. I did a lot of different things as Elvis, you know, commercials and Showtime and little bits and TV things.
See, there we go right there. That's all your stuff right there.
Wow. Oh, you got 2 stuff? Yeah, look at this. I love when I actually play a character named Gino, because that's funny. But I did a little music video for a friend of mine who lives over here named Celise. Celise is a Italian hip hop artist. Okay, so he was a very influential with a guy named The Shark in bringing Italian hip hop to the forefront. So I did a little thing for him, and the guy looked at me, the director, and he said, "Do you act?" And I said, "No." He said, "You know, I think you'd be a great character actor. Why don't you call this woman and tell her I told you to call?" So the next day I called this woman named Barbara McNamara, and she says, "Okay, you got to send me in a picture." And I said, "A picture of what?" She goes, "A headshot." I go, "A headshot? I have no headshots." So I found a picture of myself in an Italian t-shirt eating a hot dog. So my face was like,
it can't get no more Bronx than that.
Right. Remember Marlon Brando in The Godfather when he had the cheeks? Right?
Yeah.
So with the hot dog in my mouth, I had this picture. Matter of fact, I'm going to send it to you now, and if you can throw it up, you get a kick out of it.
Yeah,
So,
no problem.
So anyway, she says to me, "I want you to come to my office tomorrow." So I go down to her office in the city, and she says, "Okay, read this." So I said, "Okay, read it." So I read it, and she goes, "All right, what are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "I don't know why." She goes, "I want you to come back again." So I go back again, and she says to me, "Do you have what's your availability next month?" I said, I'm open. Why?" She goes, "I got a part in a TV show I think you'd be good in." It's okay. So I don't think anything of it. A couple of weeks go by. Now I know we're supposed to leave to film on the 20th of May. So now here comes the 10th of May, and I look at my wife and I says, I probably didn't get it. And then the 13th of May, I get a phone call from this woman, and she says, "Gene, we want to offer you the part in this TV show." And I said, "You fucking with me?" No. He goes, so I says, "Well, what's the part?" "Yeah, that's the picture. That's the picture." So she goes, "Well, you ever heard of John Gotti?" And I says, "Yeah, John Gotti. He's like, a neighbor in Brooklyn, Queens." She goes, "Well, we're doing a documentary on him, and we want you to play his best friend, Angelo." I said, "Cool." She says, "Do you have a passport?" I said, "Why would I need a passport to go to Columbia, South Carolina?" She goes, "No, you're going to Columbia, South America." And I said,
"Oh,
what?
shit."
I said, "What?" So I looked at my wife and I said, "I got to get a passport." So my wife was eating dinner. She goes, "Why?" I says, I'm going to Bogota, South America." And my wife goes, "You shitting me?" So I had a passport, card, because we cruised a lot. So I wind up going out to Bogota for about 3 weeks. And I got to tell you, man, I got treated like an A-list celebrity, 5-star hotel, dinner and breakfast every day in Shakira's restaurant, drinks. And I met 7, 8 of the greatest bunch of guys that we're still friends today. Matter of fact, when I started my podcast, my first show was interviewing my fellow actors from that show. So we're in Bogota, Colombia, South America, and we were filming from 6 at night till 6 in the morning.
Okay.
And it was weird because we had a whole time change. So every day when we got back to the hotel, we would go to eat breakfast in this little diner in a mall. And we came home on Memorial Day Monday, and that Wednesday they bombed the mall and they bombed the diner.
Oh, wow.
So my first real acting job as an actor, not as an entertainer.
You gotta throw the quotations.
Well,
in there.
well, because I'm not a schooled actor. I'm a character actor. I play parts like I grew up. But the first thing that I got was the most exciting thing in my career to date. And it was also the most fearsome, because had we been there till the following Monday, we might have been in that diner. So then I did that. And then in August, I was singing on a cruise ship to Bermuda. And I was in the cab, and I get a text, and the guy goes, "Hi, Gene, my name is so-and-so. Are you available for a movie? 2 days of shooting in September." So right away, I thought I was an Academy Award winner, right? So I write back to this guy, and I go, "I'm available, but I'm not an extra." And he goes, "You're going to be a featured background." So I said, "What's that mean?" He goes, "Well, you're going to be in the scene with all the stars of the movie." So I wrote back, "Well, before I say yes, who's in the movie?" And he wrote the name that is like Jesus Christ to Italians, Al Pacino. And by the time the O came in, I wrote, "I'm there." Right now I'm in Bermuda, and I'm singing on the ship for a couple of days, and they needed my measurements right away. So I said, "Well, I'll be back in New York in a week." And they said, "No, we need it like tomorrow." So my wife was running around the ship trying to find a tape measure to take my measurements. And there we are in the dock of Bermuda. And I'm like, I got my arms outstretched, and my wife's taking my measurements, and people are going, "Who the fuck is that?" So I wind up little part in a movie called The Irishman.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So
That's the one on Netflix, right?
That's the one on Netflix, starring a couple of Italians. You might have heard of them.
Just a couple. Yeah, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Keitel, Ray Romano, Bobby Cannavale, Vito Piccone, and
The who's who of Italian actors.
all Italian.
The who's who.
Directed by the great Martin Scorsese, right? So I go out to Brooklyn, where the scene was, and it was supposed to be a 1 day, 1 scene shoot. Well, Scorsese must have took a liking to my face, because I was out there for 27 days, and I was in 5 different scenes.
Wow.
And, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, they cut a bunch. I was in 2 scenes, but really more background. But you know what? Listen, I was in a room the size of my bedroom with 5 of the greatest actors and Scorsese. So my learning experience was off the charts. So when you go from South America to The Irishman, now you're looking for the next big thing. And
Oh, yeah.
You get a taste for it.
Yeah, you realize that every role is a big thing, because you beat out so many actors for that role, whether it's featured or background or whatever. There are literally, which I didn't know this, 50,000 guys in New York City that look like me. So for me to get these little parts,
50,000.
there's got to be. There's 8 million people in New York City. How many people come from Jersey? You know, when I got the part in the Kingpin in Bogota, I thought I beat out 1,500 actors. And the director said, no, there was 1,500 in New York and 1,500 in California. So you beat out 3,000 actors.
Wow.
So I was scratching my head going, is it this easy? Because it's really not this easy, you know, and people strive their whole lives to get something like that. And then
most definitely.
Yeah. And then it's been a snowball effect. One person, you know, I have a very good work ethic. I learn my lines. I go on set. I'm there early. I stay late. I keep my mouth shut. and I listen. And I guess word trickles throughout the industry because since doing The Irishman in 2018, I've done 5 or 6 projects of main character. And the latest thing I did was, you ever hear of a movie called Goodfellas?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
you remember the little boy that played Henry Hill, the little Henry Hill, as a youngster?
Yeah.
Well, his name was Chris Cerrone, and I just played his
Awesome.
father in a movie that's coming out in 2 months called Pumpkinhole. It's about a kid who was a baseball player and lost it all to drugs and alcohol, and now he had to move in with his father, and we had a very volatile relationship because, you know, I'm mad that he lost it all, and he's mad that he's got to live with me, and it was really, it was 2 days of intense filming, man. I got home from those shoots and I went to bed because our level was up here. It was constant badgering.
That's good method acting. You get into the character and you can't
Yeah.
control it.
You can't control it. And Chris Cerrone, who unfortunately nobody realizes how good he is as an actor because he hasn't done a lot since Goodfellas. This kid brought me up to a level where, and I don't have children. My wife and I never had children, where I felt like his dad, and I was like, "Fuck you!" I wanted to punch him. So, and he looked at me and he said, "You brought something out in me today that very few guys could have done." So, I've been very blessed with a lot of good opportunities, and in between,
When you got it.
Well, you know what? I wish I would have gotten to the game earlier because I might have made a mark. But like they say, better late than
But
never.
who says you still can't make a mark?
I mean, look at Morgan Freeman, right? Like,
Yeah.
nobody really got to know him until he was well older, and he's an iconic actor. The same thing happens for you.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? From your mouth to God's ears, I hope. But, you got Morgan Freeman is a national treasure. Definitely. And I got to tell you, if my friends see this, they're going to go bonkers on me when I meet them for lunch. But Morgan Freeman, I take a lot from Morgan Freeman. Because, listen, I learned how to do Elvis at an early age because I watched. And then I learned how to do Sinatra and Bobby Darin. So I'm a sponge. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
trust me, I understand.
Yeah, I learned from Michael Jackson. I learned from Prince. I learned from doo-wop. I learned from country. I learned from heavy metal, even though
just be thankful that you learned from the people that you wanted to learn from.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I got 3 kids, and all I heard for years was Mickey Mouse, and I came out like this. It's not a good thing.
That's the only other voice he has. It's really
there's nothing wrong with Mickey Mouse. Listen, if the United States government was run like Disney Corporation, it would run a lot smoother.
It would.
So,
7 years ago.
So I take a lot from everybody I watch and everybody I go to see and every move or every show, concert. I always pick something up and I store it back here. And when the opportunity arises to utilize that, it comes back to my forefront. And, my wife looks at me and goes, "Well, where'd you get that from?" I said, "Well, 1995, I went to see Stevie Wonder." And he did. And my wife looks at me and goes, "What are you, fucking crazy?" It's all entertainment, and you do what you could to entertain the people.
You go through the gene files and you just pluck out what you need.
Absolutely, and you have to. When you don't have your own hits, or you don't have my own songs, you have to learn from your contemporaries and people to make yourself a better performer.
Oh yeah, and you're a great performer. I've seen some of your stuff on YouTube, so
thank you. I appreciate
hats
that.
off to you. Maybe by the end of
this,
we could get a little snippet.
I'm a bit curious, Gene. So, you're from the Bronx, right? So what was your upbringing, right? Where did you have a lot of influences from people? Did you have an impersonating, like, kind of, forgive me, gene in you when you were young, where you just kind of saw yourself imitating people, or did that come later in life?
Well, I've been an Elvis fan since I'm 5 years old. And from that moment on, I would always imitate him in my bedroom, after school, before my mother came home from work or my father came home. And it was like a closet thing. Nobody knew I did it until I was 14, when I got up in a restaurant and I shocked everybody by getting up to the
experience there.
And my stepfather looked at my mother. He goes, "That's what he's doing in the bedroom every day after school." But my upbringing,
he probably thought you was rubbing one out.
Yeah. Right? Hey, listen, that's not the worst thing in the world. You know, a boy's got to be a boy, right? A boy's got to be a boy. So, yeah, my upbringing, listen, to tell you that I'm an Italian kid and I wasn't brought up with certain organizations around me, I'd be lying. My father was, for lack of a better word, a street guy. He was a gangster without a gang. He was a legitimate tough guy. So I had a father who taught me how to fight, and I had a stepfather who taught me how to not get into trouble, and then I had a mother who taught me how to be a good person. So when you combine them all together, you got me. And
Mr. Entertainment himself.
Thank you. It means a lot hearing that.
I feel like that's kind of like what happens if you're not going to go towards the crime side and you're trying to figure out how to make your way in a place where there's crime available, and you have the influence of being, somebody good and the morals in you. You figure out, well, how can I rectify things? How can I bring down tension? Entertainment kind of a thing. Not necessarily that you.
Well, he froze.
Yeah, all right. I was just making sure you seen that too, because sometimes
yeah.
he pops in and out.
To answer that, honestly, I was not always a good kid. I had a bunch of guys around me, and we ran the neighborhood. Sometimes doing things that today we're not proud of. Music was always in my life, but I always worked and I always hustled. And
did you sing over a trash can?
What?
Did you sing on the street corner over a trash can with your buddies?
I'll tell you when I did that. I used to sell Christmas trees.
Really?
Corner every Christmas. And before we used to build a little hut, we would have the garbage pail, and the ashes were coming out, and we would sing over the burning trash. But I think being on both sides of the fence, legit and hustling, I think that gave me a certain mindset as to say, all right, now you got to grow up. It's not kid shit anymore. Now you're starting to get into things that can really cause you a lot of heartache. So that's when I gravitated away from that scenario and focused more on entertaining.
Okay. So when did you really first start becoming an entertainer? When did that hit hard for you?
After I started at 14.
So that's when you really like that moment where you got up in public that also started your careers becoming.
Oh, that was March of 1980, and the next month I got hired to do a birthday party. I never forget. I made $250 for a half hour, and I looked at my mother. I looked at my mother and I said, "I'm not getting a real job."
I mean, those are amazing rates nowadays.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. But and then what I did was I would go to restaurants and I'd say, "Listen, you got a back room?" Yeah. I was okay. I want to do a show, and they would say, "Well, how much do you want?" I go, "I want $700." And they go, "Oh, we ain't paying you $700." I was okay. Here's what I'll do. How much are you going to charge me for a dinner? And they'd say $14. Okay. So I would charge $25 and I put the $11 in my pocket and I would fit 150 people in the back room. So instead of them giving me 700, they had to give me 1,500 at the end of the night. So that's what's called four-walling. So when you take the place and you do everything yourself. Now, that's not to say some nights was a disaster because of a thunderstorm or a snowstorm, but 8 times out of 10, it worked out. Matter of
We're
fact,
gonna need you to do that for us when we go live, when all this COVID stuff happens and we go on tour.
Absolutely. And you know something? I'm going to tell you, little JJ, that looks like me when I started.
You had that same suit and everything, I bet.
I still got that Eagle suit.
So
did your mom make the suit for you?
No, my mom. I actually wound up. I used to deliver newspapers after school, and the first time I wore an Elvis outfit, I was 12 at a costume party. Now you got to understand, I never grew. I was 5'6" at 11 years old. So the clothes I wore at 12, I was wearing at 17 because I was still big. So I remember I was starting to grow sideburns, and one of my paper route ladies said, "What's with the sideburns?" I said, "Oh, I love Elvis Presley. I'm going to be him for Halloween." She goes, "You got a costume?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Okay." She goes, "I'm a seamstress." She goes, "Bring me a pair of pants and a shirt that you don't want." So I go home and I said, "Mom, I need a pair of pants and a shirt, same color. This woman's going to make me an outfit." So my mother goes to my closet, my father's closet, and gives me a pair of baby blue bell-bottom leisure pants and a baby blue ruffled tuxedo shirt. This woman rips the sleeves off the shirt and puts navy blue puffy sleeves, and then she rips off the sides of the pants and puts navy blue inserts and gold trim. So I said, "Wow, this is
amazing.
This is great." Yeah, it was great. I won the costume contest, so it was pretty good. And what I had
because you had the sideburns. The sideburns are the biggest part.
Sideburns were growing in a little bit. You know,
You've been impersonating for almost 10 years at that point, so like you had it all down.
Yeah. So
what about the blue suede shoes?
Never found a pair. Never found a pair. But I had the white patent leather boots like Elvis wore in Vegas. And, you know, the funny thing is, the first night I sang was a Saturday night. So Sunday, we used to do laundry in the house. And I came down the steps from my bedroom and I had a bathrobe on. Now, I don't know if you know opera singers, they come down with towels around their neck to make them, you know, warm. So I come down from my room, I'm 14, and I have a bathrobe and I got a towel around my neck. You know, I think I'm a big star already. My mother says to me, before breakfast, go downstairs and take care of the laundry. And I looked at my mother and I said, "After I'm done with my meal, madame." And my mother cold cocked me across the kitchen. And the towel went flying. So she knocked the ego out of me right away. So
that's crazy. That's really funny though. She made sure it's like, "Hey, look, you're not great yet. You still my son in my house."
That's right.
I don't care how big you get, Gene. I will smack you upside your head.
That was a scenario. My real father went away to jail or college, as we like to call it, for about 2.5 years. And when he went away, I went from being a restaurant singer to a nightclub singer. Like I was playing bigger venues and high school auditoriums and stuff like that. So one night,
how old are you now?
I was 30.
Okay.
30. I mean, I did it.
That was a long time. That was a long bid.
What?
You said you kind of went unless you skipped the whole gap because you said you went from. So how long was you doing the restaurants and stuff while your dad was in jail?
Oh no, I was doing restaurants from 14 to 28.
Okay.
And then he went and went when I was 28. And then he came home when I was 30, 31. And all of a sudden, we started to do bigger venues, I should have said.
Okay.
It almost sounded like he did 15 years in the clinic.
No, he only did 10 years. And I was getting dressed one night, and he said, you want to go for dinner? And I says, oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I got to go to Jersey. I got a show. And he goes, yeah, what kind of show? I said, well, I'm doing a high school auditorium. And he said, yeah, how many people are going to be there? Like 100, 200? I said, no, about 1,000. And he goes, well, how many tickets did you sell? Like 200? He said, no, we're sold out. So he leans up and he goes, wait a minute. 1,000 people for you? And I said, yeah, for me. So he says, I got to see this. So he gets dressed, and now they send a car for me. Not a limo, but like a town car. And he goes, come on, I'll drive. I go, no, Dad, they got a limo for us. He goes, for you? I go, yeah. So we get in the limo, the town car, and we go to Jersey, and he's backstage with me, and I look out the curtain, and he goes, how many people are out there? I said, it's sold out. And he opens up the curtain, and he looks at me and he goes, for you. Like he went from questioning it to being proud of it. And not to say that
must have been a good moment for you.
Yeah.
It was. You know, my father said to me, how long are you going to ride this Elvis bullshit for? And how long, and he should only know, he's up there right now, that next month I celebrate my 41st year in show business.
Congratulations.
Wow.
That's not an easy feat.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
I mean,
are you still actively working today?
Well,
coronavirus
with COVID,
right?
I've been doing some online shows for charity. I do 1 or 2 restaurants in the Westchester area, which is not governed by the city, so they're up to 50% capacity, and shows, birthday parties, weddings. I'm also an ordained minister now, so I do.
Weddings. Right.
Yeah, I do weddings as myself or as Elvis. So
got that flavor out of Vegas, brought it over to the East Coast.
Yeah, you don't go to Vegas no more. And the acting has been really picking up. It's funny with the COVID and the distancing. There's a lot of online Zoom rehearsals, conference calls, and some parts. I'm doing some voiceover work as well. So people, matter of fact, I just got picked up yesterday for an animated show that's going to be pitched to Adult Swim.
Okay. Wow.
Adult Swim has one of my favorite shows, Robot Chicken.
I love Robot Chicken. Rick and Morty's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm a Robot Chicken guy. So we're gonna record that on Tuesday, and if it gets picked up, I got a voiceover career ahead of me. So
awesome.
That sounds good, man.
Real solid.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get together off camera. I need to get some information for that voiceover stuff.
Absolutely. I actually got interviewed by a guy from South Korea, about 3 months ago, and he called me the most consistent working man in show business. And I said, well, if that's how you feel, he said, I looked at your website, and every week it just kept going, dates and schedules and dates and pictures. He said, so I know guys that do one thing and one thing and one, you do everything. So, that's where I got the moniker Mr. Entertainment, because I do singing and acting and DJing and comedy and MC.
Very well deserved.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So when it comes to your impersonations, you were doing Elvis exclusively up until you were 30, or did you start branching out before that?
Well, no, here's the funny part. When I would go to a party or a wedding and as a guest, and I would get up and sing, I would never do Elvis. Because they used to tell me, don't give away for free what you can make money on. So I would get up, I do Sinatra and the Four Tops or Disco Inferno and Lionel Richie, stuff like that. So I was doing only Elvis for about 15 to 17 years.
Wow.
And then when I started to see the market get a little flooded with Elvises, I said, okay, I got to do something now. So I created a Blues Brothers show.
Oh, okay.
Blues Brothers tribute. And we did that for around
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, great movie. We did that for around 15 years. And then I had gotten sick with a reflux condition, which kept me out of work for 18 months. And when I got better, I needed a major surgery. There was like a couple of Elvises in my area. And they were getting some of the work that was used to be mine. For whatever reason, whether they were new or whether they were good or whether they were cheaper than me. So I said, okay, what I gotta reinvent myself. So I had gone to a restaurant to sing. And I walked up to the owner and I said, I'm ready to start. Where do I change? And he says, change what? I said, well, I got to change into my outfit. He goes, what outfit? I go, he goes, you look fine. I said, well, I got to change to my Elvis outfit. He goes, I didn't hire you to do Elvis. So he says, what'd you hire me to do? He says, I don't like Elvis. Okay. So I looked at my wife and I said, come here. So I said, what are we going to do? She says, what do I do? My wife looks at me. She goes, you're going to do every fucking song you know. I go in the bar and I write down.
Solid advice.
Yeah. I write down Sinatra. So I tell my wife, okay, you're going to run the music. The next day, when all these restaurants found out I do other than Elvis, they said, okay, we got our own Elvis. We want you to come here and do an oldies night or a Sinatra night. And I said, really? So, although I love Elvis, and I will do that until I cannot do it no more, most of my work now is not Elvis.
You definitely hustled the game there by being the best Elvis, and then everybody trying to be you, being the copycat and what everybody does, and being like, well, I'm talented. And then you just come in. It's like you can have the old stuff. I'm a fill in what you can't do because I'm already ready to go. That's awesome. That explains why you are
the market.
Right. You know what's good about doing, I call it the variety show, is that I could change songs every night. I look at my audience, and if my audience is older and white, I do Sinatra and Dean Martin and Tony Bennett. And if my audience is younger white and younger African American, I do Motown. I do doo-wop. And if they're in the middle, I do classic disco, like Disco Inferno and Tavares and all these other things, and I mix it all together. And
now we got to throw some Mark Anthony into your repertoire so you could get the Puerto Ricans in on there too.
I do one Latin song. You might have heard of it. It's called La Bamba.
Yep. Okay. So would it be possible, Gene, for you to maybe share some of your freer talents? We don't want to ask for your premium work here. You're a man that deserves to be paid. But would you be able to share with us and the rest of the junkers some of your impersonating talents?
Well, not that I impersonate Sinatra, but I do his songs. And one of the greatest songs he's ever done was a song that was released in 1966, my year of my birth. And it was from a movie called The Pope of Greenwich Village. And I'll give you a couple of lines, and it goes like this. Oh, the summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. So that's the Sinatra part.
Okay.
You got to forgive me. It's 9:30 at night, and I've been drinking all day. So because I'm.
No, I could hear as you kept going, and like as you were snapping, it's like with each snap you were getting more and more into the Sinatra. I could hear it coming in and like being there. That was good.
And then of course I come from the Bronx, and I mean when you talk in the Bronx and you talk in crooners, you're talking about a guy named Bobby Darin.
Okay.
You know, and Bobby Darin had a song that went like this. Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands. I'm a little raspy, guys. You got to forgive me because
no, it's on the spot. You're not prepared. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
But you know,
why don't you tell me your next song? I'll look up the lyrics and I'll duet with you.
You're gonna duet with me?
I'll duet with you.
Why don't we do a little bit of Elvis, and we'll do a song called "All Shook Up."
All shook up?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Why don't you look that up?
I've never done Elvis, baby.
I have to say, I'm a person myself.
I'm sorry. What did you say it was?
All Shook Up.
I grew up just trying to do voices from all the things that I loved and enjoyed. And Frank Sinatra is somebody that at times I'll try to emulate with certain songs. And one song in particular, whenever I hear it, I just try and do his sound is The Girl from Ipanema.
Oh.
Love that song. That's the one song where I feel like I can kind of hit his tone and like hold it the right way and just get in the vibe. I love that song.
That's a great song.
It is. It really is.
So, Jason,
All right.
ready?
I'm pulling up the music for you.
Oh, the music too. Oh,
The instrumental, baby.
Okay. While he's pulling up, let me kind of, I guess, I don't know if China.
All right, let's see if I got it.
Ipanema is walking in. When she passes, she what? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the words. I feel terrible. I feel terrible now, but now I really want to listen to that song again, just because I haven't thought about that song. It's a wonderful song.
You're pulling up video too. Look at this.
Look at this guy.
Shoot, hold on. Can you hear it? No, you can't hear it, right?
No.
Hold on.
No.
I forgot to add the sound. Now, I must admit, I don't think I've ever freely listened to Elvis.
Really?
Well,
Never.
Really. So forgive me if
we all have problems, Jason.
and I got a lot of them. G.
I don't remember the lyrics to one of my favorite
All right,
Frank Sinatra songs. That's a problem.
Well, you know what? Hopefully our interview tonight will make you go back and Spotify some of Elvis's stuff and some Bobby Darin, just to get a feel of what it is that, you know, what kind of it. Oh, you picked the long version.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, that's the live version. That should be fast. Yeah. You know what? Don't, Jason, let's just pick up the lyrics. Never mind the music, okay?
All right, I got it.
You got the lyrics?
Where are we starting?
Okay.
I got the lyrics.
We're going to go for line, okay?
All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, bless my soul. What's wrong with
What's
me?
wrong with me? I'm itching like a man in a fuzzy tree. My friend saying I'm acting wild as a bug.
I'm in love.
I'm in love.
I'm all shook up. Ooh, ooh, yeah.
Well, my hands are shaky and my knees are weak. I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet.
Who do you think when you have such a luck? I'm in love. I'm all shook up.
I'm all shook up. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Good job, Jason.
Thank you.
There you go. I apologize if my clapping.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The beep, I went off a little.
It's all right.
Well, now, be honest, Genie, baby. Do you think I got a career in Elvis impersonating?
No.
Well, thanks for being honest.
If nothing else, I'm honest.
Honest like that, because to be able to tell us when we're not very good at doing voices and things allows us to focus at what we're really good at. So we really appreciate that.
I'm just trying to tell you now that even though sometimes we're not good enough due to little certain things, we're always good enough in everybody else's eyes in the certain things that we do.
He's just trying to show
he
up.
said doo-doo.
This voice. That is not something he's familiar with. He's just trying to be cool in front of the best of the entertainment.
Well, thank you, Sunshine. It's the Mickey Mouse for me, too. Right, Reggie?
I got one. Ready?
It's Donald.
Well, I don't know. I think we might have a bootleg version of a Disney film.
Hot dog.
That's great.
Well, Gene, we want to thank you again for being on, man, and we definitely want to invite you to our other show, The Break Room, so we could bug out a little bit more.
I'll be there. And if anybody likes what I did or you want to check me out, GeneDinapoli.com. Gene Dinapoli on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, GeneDinapoli.com. And you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gene.
No, thank you. We appreciate you being on. There it is.
There you go.
Man himself.
Now, we want to thank the most famous Elvis in the New York area and all over the continental United States for coming on to Talking Junk. And we want to thank you guys for joining in. You guys have a good night, and thank you, baby.